Hi everyone, it's Nicole. Welcome back to my channel and another card making video tutorial. Today I am taking part in the Altenew July 2023 release video hop, and there is so much good stuff today. I'm going to be featuring some Betterpress birthday flower cards using brand new Betterpress press plates. These are created by Spellbinders for Altenew. And then we're also going to be doing some stamping and stenciling and embossing folders and all of the stuff. This is the Betterpress system, and that's what we're going to start out today because every single card in my video features the Betterpress. And when I tell you that this is one of the easiest new products I have ever used, I am not even kidding. So this magnetic cover here on the Betterpress, what you want to do is tape your paper in place. And yes, you do have to use specialty paper with this system because we are doing basically a letterpress. If you see any of the Spellbinders videos on this new product, they call it the Betterpress because it is a better way to use this system. So these shims go underneath the magnetic plate here. And then I've already taped my cotton paper cardstock in place with the yellow tape from Spellbinders right there on the cover. Now the great thing about the magnetic platform is it gives you A2 and A7 measurements, so you can see right where you are going to be debossing or embossing or letterpressing. I don't know. I am going to be using, I believe this is the Dainty Flower. And then I'm going to use one of the greetings from the Dainty Flower set. Now, these are hot foil dies. I'm not going to be doing any letterpress with these. What I'm doing is gauging if where I have put the Betterpress sentiment is leaving enough room for those because I want to use both. There is a special ink that you need to use with this. It's archival ink. Spellbinders worked with Ranger to come up with the right ink for this. I know more ink colors are coming. Right now there is black plus a re-inker. You can see it there on my screen. It fell over. I have not used the re-inker yet. And you want to do kind of a pounce and turn type of motion to get a good coverage. I promise it's super easy. Super, super easy. Now, my first attempt would have been perfect, y'all, if I had not put the yellow tape where I did. But I am going to show you because I really think it's important to kind of give you an idea when you are doing this yourself, how to fix this. Now, it's not a complete waste. I can trim down this panel and I can use it for something else. See where that tape is? It accidentally got right where the image was pressing into my paper. So I'm just going to trim this one down and I'll use it for something else, but everything is right there. You don't have to clean anything. Let's go ahead and just do one more. So I'm going to tape another one in place. I think it's helpful to show you some of these missteps. I have another one in a little bit, and it's not a bad misstep either. I kept that panel as well to use for another card. Neither one was ruined. I can't even begin to tell you guys. Oh, yeah, that yellow tape's not. Oh, there we go. No, it may not be. Yeah, it's fine. Sorry. I can't tell you how easy this system is. If you are like me, when you got your glimmer foiling machine, the learning curve was pretty steep. I tell people all the time it's worth it and it takes practice. This is like so easy, you could do it in your sleep. I promise you guys, you simply run the platform through once you have everything lined up and it presses that right into the cardstock. It just takes some specialty ink and specialty paper for perfect results. Now, look at that. Oh my gosh, you guys, I was so excited. Literally so excited. So what I want to tell you is if you want to color this in, I mean, this is beautiful as is. I wish I could show it to you. Maybe you can kind of see that debossing a little bit there. But what I want to tell you is that coloring these, you do have to take that into account. I also have some archival cleaner here. Now, several months ago, I bought a couple of archival inks. Can't even tell you what I bought them for. I'm sure at the time I had a plan. And I bought the archival cleaner, and I'm so glad I did. It is the recommended cleaner for this ink because it is an archival ink. It is created by Ranger to work with this Betterpress system. So I actually had some on hand. You can try other cleaners, absolutely, but I wanted to mention that as I saw that in a video that Yana did for Spellbinders, and I thought it was very helpful information. So let's go ahead and take the floral engravings, and I'm only going to use one of the 2 floral engravings you get, but I'm also going to use a sentiment, and I'm lining everything up. So I did a landscape style card for my first card, and now we want to do portrait. And again, I am going to be using these brand new hot foil plates kind of as a guide to know where I want to put everything and line everything up so that I leave plenty of room. And by the way, this hot foil set, it's also a die set, is called Versatile Greetings 2. I'm here for a good Versatile Greetings set. Again, I'm going to tape my panel in place, and I should be safe on the sides, so that's great, and I am reusing my tape over and over. This yellow tape is awesome, and we're just going to reuse it over and over. We're going to go ahead and ink this up. I did find that my poor little greeting kept shifting, so I'm going to be a little more careful. And if it shifts again, I could just kind of move it back into place. Your ink will stay wet for a fairly long time, I guess I want to say. Definitely long enough. Now, I had an accident with my 6-inch platinum Spellbinders machine, and I haven't been able to fix it. So I'm actually using my big machine, and instead of moving it back over into the screen, I went ahead and just went over and did that off screen. But it was exactly like I did before, and I just wanted to make mention of that. Oh my gosh, look at that, you guys. I cannot believe I'm doing letterpress at home. So as I mentioned, coloring your Betterpress images is kind of an important thing. Watercolor type of markers, pens, colored pencils, anything like that, you're going to have good luck with. You want to avoid your alcohol ink markers like Copic or Olo or Spectrum Noir, as it could cause the ink to run. But if you want to watercolor, go for it. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually using the Tim Holtz watercolor distress pencils and a water brush pen to color in my images. Now, I did not pick the right color combination to start with. I was a little bit bummed because I was like, ugh, did I just ruin my image? So I went and had lunch. I came back and I problem solved. I actually pulled in another color, which you'll see here in a little bit, and I love my flowers. So don't despair if you think maybe you've picked the wrong color to start with. Let it dry, come back, and pick something else. Seedless preserves is always a good idea, always. So we're just gonna, this is picked raspberry, villainous potion, and seedless preserves. And that mid-tone color is just the perfect addition. I will list the colors I used on my blog post and down in the description below the video here on YouTube for easy reference. Oh my gosh, look at that. You guys, the video does not properly give you a good feeling for how beautiful these debossed images are, for the texture, the feel, everything about it. It is so, so stunning. I had the best time making my cards today. Obviously, my first 2 cards are going to feature a more prominent Betterpress image and sentiment. The other 2 cards are only going to feature a small Betterpress sentiment and then other techniques to show you the versatility, how you can very easily combine the brand new Betterpress technique with your other staples and go-tos like embossing folders and stencils and layered stamping, all of those things that we know and love from Altenew very easy to combine all of those. And of course, hot foiling. Of course, hot foiling. I love hot foiling. So as hard as it was for me, at least, to get the hang of hot foiling, it is now one of my very favorite go-to techniques. So I am going to speed up the coloring a little bit to save us a little time today so we can move on to the second card. You can use a paintbrush dipped in water. I tend to love these water pens. I use them all the time. Just make sure you're cleaning that tip off frequently so you're not, moving just the dark color to all the lighter areas. But these work fantastic. I always just have one filled with water so that I can use them at the drop of a hat. All right, we are going to fill the rest of this in super speedy like, but I promise my coloring did not take long. This is some of the most forgiving coloring. If you guys haven't tried Tim Holtz's Distress watercolor pencils, I highly recommend them. I am not super proficient with watercolor, but I think this makes anyone's projects look fantastic. So let's color our second image. This time I decided to go with a different color combination for flowers, but we'll stick with the same greens. We will pull in a little bit of a yellowish green for some of the leaves because this has a ton of leaves, but we're gonna have a red flower, a yellow, and also an orange. I started with my flowers first, and then I'm going to go through all of my leaves. And I really tried to do this as quickly, I guess, as possible. The center of my large bloom will also be some yellows, and here's some of that lighter yellow color. I liked pulling in something just a little bit different for part of the greenery. And these look fantastic, so let's glimmer some sentiments, okay? The brand new Versatile Greetings 2 dies and hot foil plate sets are absolutely amazing. So I love that they work together. I love that if you are not a foiler at all, you can just pick up the dies. There is the actual die, and then there's the shadow, and then there is the hot foil set, and then you can use the die shadow to die cut your glimmered greeting and add it to your project, which is what I'm going to do today. But if glimmer is not your thing, you can still use these greetings and you can die cut your greetings, which is also amazing. I will use this set over and over and over. Like I said, it's a fantastic basic. So while I'm waiting for my machine to heat up, I actually went ahead and decided to use the new embossing folder. This is the Dreamy Daylilies, and I embossed it with the embossing folder. I die cut it with the coordinating die, and then we're going to stencil it when we're done foiling all of our sentiments. I'm actually going to foil the happy birthday 4 times and die cut all my greetings. We're going to use that same greeting on all 4 cards today. Often when I am doing or heating up, my glimmer hot foil system, I am doing lots of other things. So I wanted to share that with you as a time saver. I've got my Betterpress back out now, and I need to figure out where my greeting is going to go for my Daylily card. I want it to go in the upper right. So this is where my second mistake came. I had it right to begin with. I had it shifted to the left. If you want your greeting to be over on the right, shift it over to the left. At the last minute, I moved it over, and I don't know why I did that. I had it right the first time. So I ended up doing the letterpress in the wrong corner, and this is one that I am just going to keep, and I will use it for something else. See, I second guessed myself, which I shouldn't have done. What was helpful here was having my Daylily die cut so I could lay it onto my panel, see exactly where that's going to go so I know where I want to use the Betterpress. And just like that, you guys, I'm going to have a greeting. You could forego using the foiled greetings altogether and just use the Betterpress greeting on the card, and it would be stunning. And here I am, I'm looking at it and I'm like, seriously, Nicole? Do you guys do that too? Let me know in the comments. So now I am going to go ahead and just press this one more time. ink it up with our ink. Don't even have to clean anything. I don't have to worry about the ink that's on that platform there. I can clean that up when I'm done. It really is just the most amazing system. It is a Betterpress. I am so impressed with this system. Oh my gosh, look at that, you guys. Do you see that? It is stunning. I love this. You're going to see me use this all of the time. I hope if you guys have picked this up, you are loving yours. I know it's just now getting out into everybody's hands, but definitely let me know. Do you want to see more cards with the Betterpress? I for sure am going to be doing some here soon, but let me know down in the comments. Let me know if you want me to do a live on one of my Friday lives using this, because I think the system is fantastic. Now, another fantastic Altenew product is the stamp wheel. Now, the stamp wheel, as you guys have told me over and over when you see me stencil things and forget to bring this out, is fantastic for stenciling. And I am going to use it for stenciling with this beautiful daisy set. So again, this is the Dreamy Daylilies. Daylilies, you guys. I'm so sorry, I misspoke. Dreamy Daylilies. And what I like to do first is I like to take the stencil. Sometimes you need to move it around. You need to look and see how it's going to work before you take the ink to it. For me, I always like to see how it works, and then I will start inking. Now I am just going to use some shades of pinks and purples for my lilies, and then greens, of course, for the leaves. There is not a lot of layering here, so you're going to see me use about 3 shades for the petals. I'm not taking the ink all the way out to the outer edge of the petals in most cases, and instead I left that very light. You don't notice it here so much until I pull the stencil off, and then you can see that nice light edge. We are going to do this for all of the daisy pieces. So stencil 1 has all, not daisy, daylily, so sorry. We are going to, or stencil 1, pardon me, has all of the daylily parts. That's going to be the petals and the center. Stencil 2 is going to be the leaves for the daylily. I'm using a small blending brush, as I felt this gave me a little more control with the stencil so that I could add darker ink down near the base and a little bit, lighter out towards the edge of the petals so that I wasn't having quite as much coverage. Oh my gosh, it looks so good. Now, I did have a little boo-boo right here. I did not get this lined up correctly, and so it didn't stencil exactly right. And I was so mad because I loved how my flowers looked. So I actually put my flower back in place and I went back over it with a little bit of ink. And then I thought, I'm going to fix it and I'm going to line it back up and do it right. But I think I can hide the mistake with my happy birthday greeting. I think the word birthday is going to go right through there. So I think we're good and I don't have to redo anything. If at all possible, I love to try to find ways to use something that I've worked hard on instead of redoing it. Your stamp wheel is going to hold your stencils down while you're working beautifully. This was so easy to do as I really didn't have to worry about it shifting and moving all over the place. You can see I actually even have to kind of peel it up and away when I'm done. That is perfect. That means it's holding it down, no pixie spray. We are just utilizing this stamp wheel. In fact, I'm going to use it for my stamping as well. So once we have all of our leaves, I just can't get over this card, you guys. I think or this flower, I think it looks so beautiful. And when we take it to our background, it looks great just like that. But what I thought would be fun is taking another new product. This is the Dotted Waves stencil. And I'm going to take a little of this Salvage Patina Distress Oxide ink. And I am very lightly stenciling this all over the background. Just adding a fun little bit of texture to the background of my card. You can see it has some light spaces. That's what I'm looking for. My flower is huge. It's going to take up most of the room. Something I'm a huge fan of is using a tone-on-tone where we have a stencil and then a splatter. So this is the Salvage Patina Distress Oxide Spray. Just going to spritz that a couple places to muddy or dirty up, splatter up our background just a tiny bit. And I love it. Okay, I went ahead and used the Betterpress to do this same sentiment one more time on another panel. And I kind of just guessed because I don't have the components I need for this one quite yet, but I think it's going to work out just fine. I did it down a little bit lower than the previous greeting, but it's still shifted over to the right a bit. Okay. With this background, I'm not going to stencil, but I'm just going to take my Salvage Patina spray and I'm going to spritz it and set that aside to dry while I do the stamp layering for our final set of florals today. This is going to be from the Sketched Florals stamp set, and it's a layering stamp set with coordinating die. I'm again going to use my stamp wheel, but this time we're going to use our stamp wheel to stamp. And I am going to speed up this part of the video to save some time. This is not a ton of layering stamps. It's really more of just a solid stamp and an outline for a more artsy feel. I will say that I took an ink blending brush and an additional color of ink in most instances and kind of blended the ink onto the stamp before stamping it to give my florals a little bit more dimension. This is a beautiful stamp set. I love it. I did stick with like pinks and reds and like purples, kind of a vibe here, except for that one card where I did red, orange, and yellow. I was really feeling purple, and for everyone who knows me, I'm not much of a purple girl, but I love all these floral cards today. So 4 completely different design cards as far as the images used, the supplies used, all of that good stuff, but they're all examples of floral cards and all examples of birthday cards. I love having a good crafting sesh where you just sit down and play. And this was a lot of play, and then I kind of tried to bring it all together with some of my favorite types of elements like splatter on the background, hot foiled sentiments, all of that kind of good stuff. So now we are working on flower number 2. These are very easy to line up. If you're wondering about my heart stickers on my stamp wheel cover, this was a suggestion by Altenew to use some sort of sticker to mark your corners so you always know which one is up. You'll notice a big heart is up at the top and smaller ones are in the corners. So if you're rotating it, it does help a ton just to know where you're at. I have found that this is one of the best tips from Altenew regarding the stamp wheel because it always ensures that I know which way is up. I'm going to do all 3 of these small flowers. And then we have a whole bunch of leaves to do. Greenery it's always fun stamping all the colors, but in my opinion, the greenery is what ties a card all together. So I would love to know down in the comments if you are liking the Betterpress system, if you are excited about the Betterpress system and loving seeing that Altenew is creating some Betterpress plates to use with it. Very exciting. I think that is so fun to see our favorite companies, utilizing this new system. Absolutely incredible. But let me know down in the comments if you want to see more cards with this, if you want to see more lives, or if you want to see lives rather with the Betterpress. I love to kind of get your feedback and know what you'd like to see here on my channel in the future. I'm using my ink blending brushes to blend out my ink on my stamp where I'm using more than one color. And my favorite thing that I did for my leaves today is that some of my leaves here in a minute are going to look very aqua, almost like the Salvage Patina. And that is because I switched to some aqua inks, but I'm going to stamp over them then with my green ink, but it deepens and darkens them and adds a ton of interest. So it doesn't look much like it now, but just wait till I get the darker aquas in there and then I go over it with the green. Oh, it looks so good. Don't be afraid to do some kind of unique color combinations, things that you normally wouldn't do. There you can see me adding in some of that aqua over the green. I'm going to add green over aqua. Gives you a nice variety of foliage. We almost have all of our leaves. I did do one of the leaf stamp images twice. Want to get all my outlines first. Clean, clean, real fast. I wish it was that fast in real life. Now, I'm going to die cut all of these pieces off camera. That did take just a minute. I will also assemble the cards off camera today to save time. Most of the images, if I'm adding anything on top, is going to be adhered with foam adhesive. That is going to be things like flowers, the hot foiled sentiments, etc. A little bit of dimension is going to add a ton of interest, and I always think a little foam is a good thing. I will add some heart embellishments as well when I'm all finished to each card. Just usually a trio. I think on one of the cards I did multiples, but I'm adding the foam squares. I guess I'll show at least one of these on camera back behind. And then I want to attach them right to my card. And I noticed I had a little yellow tape there, so that's what I'm scraping off. Carefully. Once I have my greetings in place, I'm going to take a little bit of the Gilded Foundry Wax from Tim Holtz, and I'm going to add this to all of my cards. So some of my cards already have Salvage Patina splatter, but this is going to add some gilded splatter to every design, especially these two that are just the Betterpress images and not any extra layers. I think it adds a nice little touch, some nice beautiful gold that ties into our gold foiling. You want to make sure and heat set the foundry wax so that it doesn't rub off as it dries, because it won't be set until you apply heat. I love that card, so beautiful. So I'm going to go ahead and do the second card. After I have added the foundry or gilded foundry wax, to each card design, added the hearts, I will glue each card onto either a top fold or side fold card base to finish. And I will show you a close-up of all 4 finished cards. There is our Daylily. So pretty. This is the Floral Engravings press plate. This is the sketched flowers, and finally we have our dainty flower. Thank you so much for joining me today for this set of 4 Betterpress floral cards. To celebrate this release, Altenew is giving away a $100 gift certificate to a grand prize winner and a $50 gift certificate to 4 winners. Please leave a comment on this video as well as the Altenew video and each designer's YouTube video along the video hop by July 11th, 2023 for a chance to win. Altenew will draw 5 random winners and announce them on the Altenew Winners page. Please be sure to visit each stop along the hop. All of the information is in the description down below. Thank you guys so much for joining me today, and we'll see you next time. Thank you so much for joining me today for another paper crafting tutorial. I love being able to share with this incredible community of crafters. I want to give a huge shout out and special thank you to my amazing Patreon members. If you're interested in joining Patreon, please click the link in the description underneath the video here on YouTube. Patreon is a private community where you can support more of what I do. There's exclusive content, you'll receive a handmade birthday card from me during your birthday month, monthly lives for my top tier patrons, and more. We would love to have you join our growing community. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel, click the like button, and don't forget to click the notification bell so you're always notified when I have a video or go live. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you again next time.